It is in full panic mode right now. Right now, the stock market is kind of freaking out. And I'm going to tell you why in 1 second. So get comfortable, buckle up, seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black wealth and Black economics every day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day under one condition. The condition is that you are Black first. You don't have to be Black to be here, but you got to love Black people. And if you love Black people and you're Black first and you put your community at the top of your priority list, put a hashtag B, the number one in the chat, hashtag B1. How many of you, give me a yes or no, how many of you have noticed that your stocks probably took a little bit of a butt whooping today? Let me know if you saw a drop in your portfolio today. If you didn't see a drop in your portfolio, to be honest with you, I worry about your portfolio. If you did not see a drop in your portfolio, let me tell you, I am worried about your portfolio because you may have a portfolio filled with, Dogecoin and what's another one? GameStop and stuff like that, meme stocks. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have those things in your portfolio, but one of the keys to financial health and building wealth long term is to have a diversified portfolio. So if you saw a dip, then that means you're probably set up properly. You have a proper diversification set up in your portfolio. So why is the market down today? Well, the market dropped by 900 points. The Dow did anyway, which is a big, big drop. It's a big drop, and it has to do with the virus. I'm not going to say the name of the virus because they have internet bots that will shut your channel down if you say it out loud. So it's a virus that shall remain nameless, but it's getting a new name every week. It's coming out, with more remixes than Jay-Z and Beyonce combined. It's coming out with all kinds of twists and turns, and the alpha, the beta, the gamma, the delta, the lambda mu, the A5A, they're going to start barking and marching pretty soon because I really think that this virus is going to have a step show because they have taken up all the letters in the entire Greek alphabet. Well, this is something that I expected, to be honest with you. I really never thought the pandemic would go away. I always felt that Big Pharma makes too much money from the Rona for this cash cow to ever go away. I think that now we've created a whole generation of extreme germaphobes. I have watched, children who are so scared that they wear their masks, like when they're out, and they could be in the middle of a cornfield with nobody around and still feel like they have to put their mask on. Anybody else notice that? I'm not making fun of it. I'm not making fun of it, and I'm not a denier. I'm not an anti-masker. I'm not an anti-nothing. But have y'all seen that where you got people like little kids, especially like 7 years old, who are like, "Mommy, I need my mask no matter what," and it's like, you don't need your mask. You're 100 miles away from the next human being. Why do you need your mask? But that's what's kind of happening. That's the world we live in. I took my daughter to a football game. She's 11, and we were in a football stadium, open air. She wasn't sitting near anybody, but she felt like she needed her mask. And I said, what are they doing to these kids in this school? They are literally going to all need therapy. Like, this is a flat out mental illness at this point. I'm sorry. It doesn't mean you shouldn't take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take your vitamins. Keep a healthy immune system. Queen of Food will talk about that at the All Black National Convention. But if you are wearing your mask while you're in your car driving by yourself, you might need to see a therapist. If you're wearing your mask when you're walking down the street when nobody's around, you might need to go talk to somebody that can help you because you're going to be scared for the rest of your life. That's just what it is. I'm not making fun of you, though. I get it, though. I get it. We have to be careful. Watch your hands. Protect yourself. So let me keep going. Anyway, do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. Let me talk about what's going on in the market. And I shouldn't be here for too long because I do have family here, and we're not wearing masks in the house. So some of you probably think we're all going to be dead by Tuesday. And here's what it says. The U.S. stock market dropped sharply on Friday as a new variant, I'm not going to say the C word, found in South Africa triggered a global shift away from risk assets. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 900 points or 2.5%, blah, 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 blah. The downward move comes as the World Health Organization officials on Thursday warned of a new variant that's been detected in South Africa. The new variant contains more mutations to the spike protein, the component of the virus that binds to your cells, than the highly contagious Delta variant. Because of these mutations, scientists fear it could have increased resistance to those jabs. I'm not going to say the V word either, because I'm telling you, the bots are everywhere. They're always monitoring like what we say. Free speech is not, that's an illusion. Just make sure you understand that. And so the World Health Organization said further investigations needed. So apparently it looks like we're now at a stage where, at least in South Africa, there's a variant that probably is more contagious and more deadly than the previous variants, which means that the old jabs are not going to work, which means that if you got a original jab and then the second jab, and then you got a booster to your second jab, you're probably going to need a booster to your booster, and your booster, you're going to have more boosters. You're going to have more booster seats than a kindergartner, right? You're literally going to be boosted like for the rest of your life. So some of you, may get the booster to the booster to the booster, which again, Big Pharma is loving this, right? They're going to get paid forever. I'm not getting, you ain't boosting me for nothing. I need to see the whole movie play out. Once the whole movie has played out and we've seen all the different variants and the variant to the variant and the remix to the remix to the remix, then I might sit back and say, okay, what's the proper solution? One thing I found was this. Let me tell you a little secret. I went to Walgreens, and I found that they have these rapid tests that you can have in your house. And in our house, we have several of those little rapid tests. And whenever anybody gets a sniffle or some symptoms, we give them a test. Thank goodness none of the tests have come out positive, but I've seen that. I've also seen that the treatment is getting better, that they're allegedly getting better at treating things. I'm not really interested in you giving me some sort of preventative measure, because I don't know what you're preventing. Even you don't know what you're preventing, right? Because every month a new variant comes out, which means that you're going to come to me, basically to renew your process and say, look, I'm sorry, I have to renege. I told you that this shot was the one that was going to save you for the rest of your life, but actually you need another shot. And then it's like, oh, I'm sorry about the second or third shot, but you actually need this one. This shot, this is the one that's really going to do it. That part kind of makes me a little bit nervous. But what's real here? What's real here in terms of how this affects your portfolio? It looks to me like there's nothing really definitive about this. They said the World Health Organization needs to investigate. Uncertainty is typically bad for the stock market, but the uncertainty does not necessarily mean bad news. Also, they said the United Kingdom temporarily suspended flights from 6 African countries due to the variant. Israel barred travel to several nations after reporting one case in a traveler. 2 cases were identified in Hong Kong. Belgium also confirmed the case. Quote, when I read that there's 1 case in Belgium and 1 in Botswana, we're going to wake up next week and find 1 in this country. And I'm not going to recommend to anyone buy anything today until we're sure that isn't going to happen. And I can't be sure that it won't. So it's probably in the United States somewhere. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, people out here just doing all kinds of crazy stuff and out here hooking up, having sex hookups and everything. So, they probably got all kinds of variants we don't know about. But basically what Jim Cramer is saying, and I don't disagree with him, is that there might be a point to kind of waiting this out a little bit. I feel like this market is so highly inflated that it's like a bubble waiting to pop. And it could pop further. It could continue to pop further. Now, another approach you could take is you could say, hey, 900-point dip means maybe some of these high-quality companies that I couldn't buy before, maybe they're a little cheaper. Maybe they're a good investment right now. I don't think long-term you're going to lose with that strategy. They said Asian markets will also hit pretty hard. The CBOE volatility index, which is the fear gauge, which measures how much fear there is in the market. Fear can be a good thing, though, because fear makes you a little more cautious. It rose to 28. Its highest level in 2 months. That's not so terrible. But what the fear gauge does is it's kind of like when you have a market that's really doing well like this, people forget that investing is risky. When the market is doing really well, when it's easy to make money, you've seen on the internet where there are a lot of people that became overnight stock market experts because they bought some stock and they made money. And it's like the Belle Biv DeVoe song, I thought it was me, and you thought that it was your magic that made the market give you money, when really the market is giving money to everybody, right? So you didn't make that girl this way. She's like that every day, right? So basically the market is giving it up pretty easily. And so what happens in that environment is that people forget that there's risk. They forget that what goes up can also go down. And so you have a lot of fearlessness, almost like the 3-year-old who's never burned his hand, never fallen down, never had his heart broken, never gone through anything traumatic because you protected him. So what's he going to do? He's going to run. He's going to jump off the couch, and he's going to go and ride his bike and do all kinds of wheelies and everything else when he starts riding his bike because he's not afraid, right? But that one time when he falls and busts his head, that's going to change his perspective. So the market right now is a fearless market. And when the market is fearless, you see prices go up, 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 because people will pay anything for anything. They'll just go buy whatever's out there because they think it's always a good investment. So the increase of the fear gauge, in my view, which is corresponding right now to a drop in the market, is kind of good, right? It means the market's a little more sober, a little more watchful, a little more reflective. And so this might be a buying opportunity. I personally believe in buying dips, but when I buy dips, I don't buy the dip in every stock. I buy dips in my whole portfolio. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. Let me read a little bit more, and then we'll kind of close it down for today. They said Royal Caribbean travel-related stocks were hit the hardest. Carnival, Royal Caribbean both dropped by 10%. United Airlines dropped by 9%. Delta and American are down. Boeing's down. Marriott's down. So if you are into the reopening play, as they call it, which means that you believe that these companies, these travel companies and entertainment and gambling companies and things like that are going to do better once the economy reopens, then maybe this is your time to buy. I personally think they're going to kind of manage this. I really wouldn't be surprised if they manage it. And the thing that I noticed with the pandemic was that even if it's at its worst, even if nobody ever got the jab and nobody ever wore a mask, everybody ain't going to die, right? At least to this point, we haven't run into anything where more than, say, 0.2% of the population is gone, but to the point where you barely notice it. It doesn't mean it's not there. It just means that, it's like, yeah, life still goes on. And I think that's been the approach in the South. In the South, they've been kind of like, look, yeah, some people are going to go down, but we're thinking about the greater good. They have more of a communist approach. China's kind of like that. China's sort of like, yeah, if 100,000 people die, it's not the end of the world because we have to feed 1 billion people. So 1 billion people can't starve so that 100,000 people can live. We'll let the 100,000 people go if we have to, so we can feed the other billion. I'm not trying to say that it's right or that it's wrong. I'm just trying to say that's what it is. And it's a difference in perspective, right? So what I see in this country is you have a division, right? You have the people that are extremely sensitive to the pandemic, extremely sensitive to the virus. They want everybody to get the jabs. They want everybody to wear the mask. They'll be wearing masks and getting jabs for the rest of their life. I guarantee it. 5 years from now, they will be getting the booster to the booster to the booster to the booster, right? And that's fine. If that's where you live mentally, that's okay. And then you've got the people that say life will go on. Excuse me. If I'm one of the unlucky few, then it is what it is. 1 in every 500 of us will go down. The other 499 are going to live. We're going to continue to play football in the SEC, and we're going to continue to eat our hog mugs and live our lives. And whoever dies, dies. Whoever lives, lives. Right? And I don't think that's a completely irrational perspective, because right now what's interesting is that it seems that there's a debate between whether or not these jabs are actually beneficial to you or not. When you get all the jab after jab after jab, and you're constantly being protected from a virus, there are some experts I've heard from who said that you're losing the opportunity to gain God's vaccine, if you will, which would be natural immunity. That you're losing the ability to just become naturally immune because maybe the virus came through your house, everybody lived, and now the virus is coming back like, man, damn, I can't infect anybody because everybody's immune, right? But then there are some people who say, no. You don't want to take that chance. It's bad no matter what. And I personally think everybody can be right and everybody can be wrong. I think that the clearest thing I've seen in response to the virus in general is take care of your damn self. Take care of your body. If you want to know what I did personally, whether the jab is not the issue. Let's not talk about that. You know what I did yesterday? I let my wife wake me up the day after Thanksgiving, or the day of Thanksgiving, excuse me, and have me run a 4-mile race so that my chubby ass will haul my big butt 4 miles so that I will be as healthy as possible, which will strengthen my immune system so that if a virus comes into our house, which it will at some point, a lot of viruses eventually get to your household, we're going to be as well protected from that virus as we can be because we are taking care of our health. Everybody talks about everything, every response to the virus, but no one talks about how to prevent the virus in the first place, which is deeper than just going to big pharma, because I can just tell you straight out, big pharma will always care more about money than they care about your life. You can say what you want. You know, it doesn't mean that all the drugs are bad. Doesn't mean that they can't add some value to society. But I know how corporations work. I know how capitalism works. And they will always care more about your money than they care about your life. So do not think for 1 second they're doing this because they care. They're doing this because it is extremely profitable. The best product in the world to sell is one that people have to take. Right? A product that is either addictive or a product that is mandated. Those are the two cash cows that exist in American capitalism that will never, ever go away. Because the reason Nino Brown and all the crack dealers had all the money is because once you tried crack, you kept coming back, right? So it was an addictive product. That's why they made money. The reason Mark Zuckerberg has more money than Jesus is because they designed social media to become as addictive as possible. And so since you're addicted, Mark Zuckerberg is the new Nino Brown, where he's making tons of money because you can't turn your Facebook off. But then even better than an addictive product is a mandated product. Mandates come in the form of any type of war, any type of situation where they tell you that you must do what we say, because if you don't, you're going to die, right? It's an emergency, right? Anytime there's an emergency, you got to watch out. When there's an emergency, that means somebody's going to take over. That's when the wolf pack alpha male mentality comes into play. I don't know if y'all look this up. Look up the history of the term alpha male. They actually found that the term alpha male, this idea that some guy has to come in and beat everybody up and dominate and in order to prove his manhood, that's actually a false term in terms of what a man should be. The term alpha male actually came from wolves in captivity. It's prison culture. They found that when wolves were in captivity, the alpha male emerged because you were all in this really stressful situation where one guy would kind of just dominate and force all the other wolves to do what he told them, right? It's very abusive, very oppressive, very mean. And there are some men who think that that's what you want to be, when actually they found that when wolves are actually free, they don't operate that way. They operate as communities, and they're very supportive of each other. They run in packs, and everybody has a role, and they're sort of more in a family cooperative nature. Why do I bring that up? Well, because whenever you have a crisis, whenever you have fear, that tends to lead to some sort of constraint where the government comes in, like Debo in the movie Friday. I got $5. No, I got $5, right? So Debo shows up as the alpha male and says, do what I say, or you gonna die. You better do what I say, right? So the mandate comes in, right? Mandates come in typically in war. Right now we're in war with a virus. Before, we had the war on terror. Before that, you had the Vietnam War. You had the Iraq War. You had all these wars. And one thing you'll notice is that with every single war, you always had government mandated spending that would benefit specific industries. That's why you'll never not have war in the United States. You will never stop having war, because every time there's a war, a set of corporations are making a ton of money. They're pouring money into politicians to get them into office, and these politicians go declare war so they can issue mandates that will force the government to give billions of dollars to specific companies to solve this problem they probably created themselves. So right now you have a war on a virus. That war on the virus could have been prevented largely, in my view, if they did things like encourage Americans to be healthy, encourage Americans to eat better, encourage Americans to exercise, but that's not profitable. A healthy society is not a profitable society. That's why the food industry stopped Michelle Obama from promoting healthy eating. Michelle Obama, if you remember, when she first came into office, she was talking about eating healthy and exercising as a way to just have a healthier lifestyle. Then when they had a little talking to her, she changed the message from eating healthy and exercise to just exercise. She stopped talking about eating healthy, because when she said something like, well, sometimes I like McDonald's French fries too, but I know I can't eat too many of them. McDonald's like, why you be hating on our French fries? Why you hating on our French fries, man? And next thing you know, she stopped talking about McDonald's French fries because the food industry was sitting back in the back like Debo saying, you messing with our mandates. You're messing with our addiction. Nino Brown, I'm like Nino Brown coming through the projects with a shotgun. You ain't gonna mess up my money. So this is the country you live in, people. This is how things work. So in general, going forward, I know this is a two-pronged message, right? One is be healthy, right? Take care of yourself. I think that's a great way to go no matter what. If you choose to get a jab or not get a jab, I think that's up to you. Either way, you're probably going to live. No matter what you do, you're probably going to be okay. Number two, as far as the stock market goes, I don't think this is enough to drive a damn near 1,000-point decline in the market. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a what they call a dead cat bounce. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow or the next day or this week you see a little bit of an upward trend, because sometimes the market, when it panics, it overreacts. It goes a little bit crazy. It gets a little too emotional, and emotionality is not the way to invest, even though I can't talk because I'm a pretty emotional person, but I know how to shut it down when I need to because I am a mathematician. I know how to be calculated, but at the same time, I love being passionate because passion makes life worth living. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's my assessment of the market. If you want to know what I'm going to do, I'm going to be buying dips. And also, if you want to join us in stock market investing class, feel free to join. You can go to boycewatkins.com. And right now, actually, for those of you that want to learn stock options, we're doing a massive discount on our options investing bundle pack in the Black Business School. So feel free to go to boycewatkins.com, or if you're watching on Instagram, the link is in the bio. And for the next 24 hours, you can get, I think, 76% off. But it's actually more than that. It's more like 90% when you look at the total value of everything. So it's kind of a Black Friday thing. So if you're interested and you think we can help you, then feel free to go to boycewatkins.com, or if you're on Instagram, hit the link in the bio. All right, guys, I'm out of here. And yeah, Kira Singh says, yes, you are emotional. Yeah, I am, because I love being, if you can't be passionate about something, you've never truly lived. I think passion gives you life, right? And I love being full of life. I don't want to be caught in the rat race or the rut. I always wanted to do something that actually made a difference, and do something that made me jump out of bed in the morning. So I really do jump out of bed in the morning. I'm not pretending to be this excited. I'm like this all the time. So God bless you guys. Have a good day. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button on your way out. And again, the stuff that I just mentioned is at boycewatkins.com if you want to go take a look. And also, if you're on Instagram, the link is in the bio. See you guys later. I'll check in with you again soon. Be good. Peace.